All right, what's up, guys? How we doing? So I'm here in San Diego today at my brother's apartment. This is my brother, Dylan.
What's up, guys? Great to be here.
And I wanted to wait to do a review for this movie. It's kind of going to be sort of just a podcast type style. We're going to be talking about a complete unknown mainly, but I'm going to get other opinions for him just because, we live in different states and we can talk about pretty much just whatever we want.
We have a lot of different opinions, too.
We do have a lot of different opinions, a lot of strong opinions. And we got this nice couch, got this nice little setup, so, we're chilling. But, we're going to start with a complete unknown. This is James Mangold's new biopic on Bob Dylan, starring Timothee Chalamet. So A Complete Unknown follows Bob Dylan in his early days, I believe 1960, when he first arrives in New York City. And he goes there to visit one of his idols, Woody Guthrie. And he gets to the hospital because at this point in time, Woody Guthrie has a very terrible disease. I don't think they ever tell us, but he's pretty incapacitated. He can't talk, can't do anything. And from there on, he meets Pete Seeger as well, and we pretty much from there on just take off and we follow his rise to fame for the next probably 5 years or so, I would say. So we obviously have Timothée Chalamet starring as Bob Dylan in this movie, and he's without a doubt the biggest positive, as you can imagine. He is fantastic in this. I mean, what do you think?
I mean, this movie is completely wrapped around Timothée Chalamet as Bob Dylan. Like, this movie would be nothing without Timothée Chalamet. Like, he's just a brilliant character at this point, an actor.
Yeah.
I think how he did, I have some mixed feelings on it, I'll be honest.
Yeah, you didn't like his voice?
I think his voice was a little, at first in the theater, I was like,
yeah, it's a little...
He's a little, I was comparing to Austin Butler and Elvis. I think he was a little over top, but I think as it got on, I was like, wow, like, the more he was talking, he sounded great. But he did this weird thing with his lips that, like, bothered me. He would talk without moving his lips. It was like, he was almost like a ventriloquist.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, what are you doing?
Well, he's so like soft-spoken.
Yeah, and I was like, in the theater when I was watching, it's like, oh, it was Bob Dylan.
Yeah.
Because first of all, Bob Dylan, he's obviously a real person. Did he actually talk like this? And I was looking at interviews, he doesn't really...
Yeah.
His voice, perfect, amazing. Loved his voice, but this whole lip
His
thing,
singing voice, yeah.
His singing voice made me his talking voice, but he did this little thing where he like would be talking, he wouldn't be moving his lips, and like this is a little distracting, it's a little much.
But I mean, he completely embodied the character, though.
He did, but it was just this one thing that was distracting, and I did get better throughout the movie. It was a little better, but then I looked at videos from the real Bob Dylan.
Yeah.
He didn't do that.
Yeah, that's another thing too, though, is Bob Dylan, everybody knows that name, right? Everybody has heard of him. Everybody's heard.
Even your grandpa.
Yeah, most of his music. I mean, yeah, your grandparents probably were playing it. Maybe your parents too, in the car or whatever it was. They're for Thanksgiving, your grandpa, there might be in the background.
But in the theater, what was the audience when you were there?
A lot of old people.
Not a bad thing.
A lot of old people for sure.
I mean,
they clapped at the end.
Yeah. A lot of clappers.
Yeah, they definitely a lot of old people. So yeah, like I was saying, we all know the name Bob Dylan, but like you're saying, did Timothée Chalamet sound like him and do a good job?
Voice.
I've never heard Bob Dylan really speak. So unless you looked it up like you did,
Mm-hmm.
I kind of understand it, but I think a lot of his deliveries were kind of funny too, though. He was like,
especially
he was quippy, yeah, when he was talking shit. But at first you're kind of just like, okay.
Is he just like getting into the role a little bit? Is he like taking some time to adjust? But like they shoot shots different, like scenes. It's not like
it is bouncing around
So I was wondering that, but like no, his voice amazing, perfect, immaculate. It sounds great.
But also, like you said too, with Austin Butler as Elvis, he went to a dialect coach.
Yeah.
To get his voice, deeper.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if Timothée Chalamet did anything like that, but
yeah, it was not as distracting as Austin Butler and Elvis because I think that was a little over the top.
You don't like that either?
It wasn't fan of that. I think it was a little distracting. Honestly,
I didn't mind it.
Yeah,
but I mean, Timothée Chalamet, man, just especially where he starts in the movie. We first see him get out of a cab. He's kind of wearing raggedy, shitty clothes. Wool scarf. It's just all very,
he's not very full of himself.
He's also a lot different. He just wants to meet his idol at first, and
he's not chasing fame really. At first, maybe.
No, I mean, I don't think he was ever really chasing fame.
Yeah, to a certain point.
He just happens to be one of the most talented people, to literally ever live.
Yeah, but when he first started singing, though, what did you think?
And the first scene in the hotel,
the first scene in the hospital.
Oh yeah, or the hospital. Sorry, I thought it was amazing.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah,
and it only gets better. It literally only gets better. That was clearly But this is a musical biopic. It has to be good. Right. If you can't execute that part, then why are you making the musical biopic?
The music part, yeah, it has to be good.
Yeah.
And the music, Bob Dylan's music, Timothee Chalamet's performance is the best thing about this movie,
100%.
without a doubt.
Yeah,
that's right. And we'll get into that later, but there's just a lot of familiarity, a lot of tropes that a movie, musical biopic specifically on one person typically have. Especially this is a big studio movie too, Fox Searchlight.
Yeah.
That kind of,
and it's James Mangold.
And it's James Mangold.
This isn't his first biopic. He knows what he's doing. He's been around it.
But yeah, I haven't seen Walk the Line. I think I did see it a long time ago.
When we were like 2 years old.
That's what I'm saying. We saw it a long time ago. I don't really remember it, but I've heard
Joaquin Phoenix though.
Yeah, I've heard the movie's amazing. So
yeah, we definitely should get on that.
I will watch that soon. But I mean, yeah. So I mean, we really just like we were saying, you do bounce around a lot throughout this movie, and that is one thing that I think biopics suffer from, or even just any movie really that spans so many years. I mean, this is only 5 years, so it's not like completely a lot, but there's just so much to pack into one 2-hour, 2.5-hour film to where it just feels incohesive.
Yeah. You thought it was incohesive? Really?
Well, because like things just happen. They don't really like explain anything. There's like when he meets that dude in the elevator.
That I have a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, he meets that dude in the elevator, and I was like kind of scared at first. I thought he was gonna try to like murder him or something, or like try to assassinate him. But no, he's another musician. He follows him out of the hotel wherever they were. And
there's a time jump before that, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm just talking about this specific one as an example. He asks him what his name is, blah blah blah. He goes to his club to check out his music, and then the very next scene, he's like his manager or like he's there with him like his best friend.
And I think it's so fucking.
They don't explain any of that.
Like, he like says his name like, oh, I'm like Billy something.
No, his name is Bob too.
He was like, it's like my name's Bob, but like he said it in the way that we're supposed to know who the fuck he is.
Yeah, I did get that too.
And, Bob, and we're supposed to like, oh shit, it's him. It's like
I thought it was gonna be like a Beatle or something.
Yeah, it's like I'm Paul McCartney, bro. Like no one knows who this guy is.
I did get that feeling too.
And I was like, this doesn't make me care about it.
Right.
And that's the thing about biopics is like you know the story. Essentially, not exactly the details, but you do know the story. You know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, you start off as nothing. You get famous. You go through fame. You want to change.
Like, oh, how do I handle fame?
Yeah, and a lot of these musical biopics also have to deal with the studios also trying to change them. You know, it always happens. Studio control you. You basically sell your life away whenever you sign to a major record label like that. So you know, it's musical, Elvis. You know, all that. They're all the same. You know, it's.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely is very similar to every other biopic you will see.
Yeah.
For example, like Bohemian Rhapsody was one of the.
I've actually never seen that movie.
I mean, like I said, it's the same. It's literally the same thing. Yeah. How do I handle fame? I'm strong with fame. I have so much power. I have so much money. What do I do?
Exactly, handling fame. Yeah.
And that part was definitely in the movie a little bit, not as bad because I think Bob Dylan kind of handled it a little better.
In real life, you're saying?
In real life, yeah.
He probably did.
Yeah.
You know, it's a
he's
movie.
Not like he's not a sex and drug addict. Like he definitely.
He wasn't.
Indulged probably. The movie, they didn't really show that.
I don't know if he was a sex addict. I think he was just.
Who? Wait.
Timothee Chalamet or Bob Dylan in the movie.
Yeah. No,
he wasn't sleeping around with girls. He was just lusting after a lot of girls and kind of enjoying that.
Yeah. 100%. But like his fame is like regardless all this money. Like remember him in the crowds, people recognizing him. It's like
it's probably a lot different back then too, especially when. You know, bodyguards and all that stuff probably wasn't as much of a thing back then. You know, there's not social media. People aren't taking photos of you. So it's a lot of famous people probably walked around town and everything like that more often.
Yeah.
You know, they need that recognized and then people would just go fucking nuts, I'm sure. I mean.
Yeah, but we were saying it's like the same biopic tropes. Like he meets a girl when he's young before he hits fame. And then he hits fame. It's like it's like, oh my god, I can't be with him. Like, oh, are they gonna last? Obviously not. They're not gonna last. He's Bob Dylan, and he's famous now. I mean, even before. And it's just the same thing you saw in The Wolf of Wall Street. That was technically a biopic.
Yeah,
you see Bohemian Rhapsody. It's like it's the same tropes, and that was kind of something I didn't care for. I knew what was gonna happen.
Yeah,
and that's my main issue with biopics is like you know what's gonna happen. You're not on the edge of your seat. It's more of a documentary kind of.
That's why I think documentaries kind of work better for stories like this, for real things that happened in history. But no, absolutely.
Yeah.
So yeah, like we're saying, the best parts about this movie are the music and Timothy's performance, and with the tropes that we're saying, it's very familiar. A lot of these biopics are all the same. So what's gonna set this movie apart from all the other biopics that we're all familiar with? And it doesn't do that at all.
It does, yeah. It doesn't set itself apart. I mean, it's the same story. I mean, we obviously know Bob Dylan's a great artist. You've heard that. Even if you never listen to his music, you know he's a folk pioneer.
They don't really say anything new. Although I did kind of like how they incorporated history with this. I know the
Cold War
the Cold War stuff, JFK being assassinated, everybody, being worried about the bombing in Russia.
Right, they were going somewhere, but they never ended up anywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
They were trying to say something, but they never ended up anywhere.
They he wrote that song.
But the lyrics were never, ever dove into, and Bob Dylan is known as one of the greatest lyricists of all time after research.
We didn't really see his writing process. I do agree with that. We see him recording in the studio.
They never went into it.
Yeah, they never go into it. You see him recording in the studio a little bit. I mean, not really. And the song that he performs after JFK got assassinated at the folk festival, I forgot the exact name of it.
The Newport.
The Newport Folk Festival. He performs. What's the song called? Change.
Times are they are changing.
Yeah, time.
That's the only song.
That's the name of the song.
Yeah, I don't know if that's the song.
Yeah, it's. I believe I don't know the name. We can look it up in a sec. But
this is exactly our point. We don't really know.
Yeah, he sings that song once, and it's amazing.
I got chills.
Yeah,
I'll be honest, I got chills.
Yeah, you got chills for sure because you start to realize that this was probably a crazy moment, as was JFK being assassinated. This was a crazy moment in history, in time, for that song that Bob Dylan created and to perform for the first time. Because I don't think the song was out. I think he performed it because, as we see later, when he becomes kind of a dick, he doesn't like to perform old songs. Yeah. He always wants to do new songs when they're live.
Right. And that's where it starts to move forward and does differentiate itself. But like you were saying, we don't need music. Music speaks for itself that he's great. You don't need a movie to make everyone know that he's great.
Yeah.
So why would we make a movie about someone who's already great? You need to show that. And I think they struggled with it, but in the end, they did have something to say. In the end, and it was only revealed at the end, and that was
about music
changing folk music, using electric guitar.
Yeah. Like we're saying, times are changing every single day, every single year, and a lot of these older people, Edward Norton's character, Pete Seeger, which he was also fantastic.
By the way, probably my best performance of the movie.
Edward Norton better than Timothy?
I think so.
I
loved Edward Norton.
He was a dorky little old timer.
Yeah,
dude.
I thought he was amazing.
No, he was great. You feel bad for him too a little bit, because he loves folk music so much.
Hey guys, what's up? He's like what's his face?
Like our dad said, fucking
Mr. House or something.
Yeah, what's his name?
Mr. Neighbor.
Tom Hanks plays him. I can't remember. I don't know.
Mr. Neighborly.
Yeah, I can't think of his name right now.
Ned Flanders.
Yeah, he's very likable. You feel for him.
But you also know he's from the past.
Yeah, exactly. And he wants to hold on to that folk and that old time music so badly, but
he's a perfect antithesis to his character.
Yeah. Because
he's trying to do something new. He wants to be in the past.
Yep.
And folk music will always be in the past because they're not trying to move forward.
Well, yeah, because nobody like Bob Dylan had ever come around.
Yeah.
Especially making folk music like that with just a guitar and lyrics. And it just changed forever. And I don't know if it's Edward Norton's best performance. I mean,
I don't know. He really
he's really good.
He moved his jaw and the way he talked.
Yeah.
He really transformed him.
I didn't really see his accent.
Yeah. He definitely had
No, I'm saying I liked his. I liked his accent. Is what I'm saying. All that contributes to him being that character and not really seeing Edward Norton, which I definitely appreciated. And his little banjo.
Yeah, he's like funny. He's like your little grandpa. You just want to give him a hug.
Right.
And I thought he was amazing. Obviously, Timothy Chalamet's his star.
Yeah, no, I liked Edward Norton a lot. I think he added a lot for sure.
Johnny Cash too.
Johnny Cash. Who played Johnny Cash? What's his name again?
I know he's in Bike Riders. He's blowing up.
Just heard it. Yeah. He was really good too. Like we said, I haven't seen Walk the Line in a long time. I would assume Joaquin Phoenix does an amazing job too, but this guy does a really good job too. Boyd Holbrook is his name, and I guess we just looked it up. He was also the villain from Logan, also directed by James Mangold. And I That's just
You don't recognize him.
It's completely shocking. He was blonde in that movie. I mean, he was really good. Not necessarily, I don't know much about Johnny Cash either. I think his voice was pretty on.
Yeah, he's no
spot
Joaquin
on.
Phoenix, but he gets the job.
Yeah, Joaquin Phoenix is a legend, obviously. But he's only in a few scenes too. He's not in a lot, probably 3 or 4.
But when you see him, you're like, fuck yeah, like that's Johnny Cash.
Yeah, especially
because he's promoting his boy.
Yeah,
he's like, yo, do your shit. He's like, yo, do what you want to do. Don't listen to the folk people.
Yeah, he was kind of his older brother in some sort of way. Yeah, and what he's always say is like, wipe mud on their something rebellious. Yeah, it was cool. And
then, like, you do what you want, and I thought that was pretty cool scene.
No, I definitely enjoyed that aspect for sure. Yeah, but
a little crossover event,
Yeah, lots of figures from the past.
But that's the only figure that you know in this movie, because there's a weird scene in the movie that I hated. It was this his name was Alice. He was like, they were in the studio. He was the keyboard player. Yeah. And he was like, his name sounded like Alice Cooper.
Yeah, it did me too. Ali Cooper was
Ali Cooper, exactly. And I was like, wait, obviously this is Ali Cooper's like the 80s or 90s. This is 60s.
Right.
But at first I was like, oh, let's go, Alice Cooper's here.
I thought the same thing. I was
because
it can't be Alice Cooper.
They make it seem like it's some person you should know and care about. But in reality, no one knows who Ali Cooper is.
No.
It's like,
but are they supposed to not tell us his name though?
Who cares?
I mean, it just kind of
It didn't it made me feel like I was supposed to know him, but I didn't. I mean, you might as well have like Marshall Mathers come in. He's like, I'm Marshall Mathers.
Yeah, does they specifically make a point to ask?
Yeah, they zoom in on him. He's like, what's up, guys? Bob Dylan's always like, who are you?
Yeah.
I'm not Cooper.
But then
it's anything.
But then he does lay down the keys too.
But it's such a. I mean, it's like
that's on.
It's very underwhelming.
He does lay down the background.
It's very underwhelming, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, it's all pretty much underwhelming except for the music. I mean,
except for Johnny Cash's cameo, basically.
Yeah, and Johnny Cash, he was cool.
Everyone knows Johnny Cash.
But I mean, there was a lot of music in this movie. A lot of music scenes, a lot of musical numbers, and those are definitely, the music sounds great in the theater too. I don't know about my theater, it was rocking. Not the people weren't rocking, but the sound was rocking.
Yeah,
you feel everything. The guitar was mixed very well, and then it's just Bob Dylan's amazing music, man. I mean, it's just something's different about Bob Dylan's music. Mm-hmm. Even his music back then, it's so simple, and the lyrics too are it's stripped down.
They never dove into the lyrics and his lyric process, because he's generally known as the best lyricist of all time. He has a Nobel Peace Prize for writing lyrics.
Right.
And they never dove his thought process. That's the most interesting thing about Bob Dylan.
No, that's very true. But I mean, just listening to the songs in general and listening to the lyrics, it's very...
he has something to say, but you don't know what he's trying to say.
Yeah. No, yeah.
I feel like this movie felt very confused, is how I describe it.
I think there's a way longer cut out there. I don't think they had enough... Yeah. They don't think they had enough time to, include all of that.
But ultimately, what were they trying to say?
It's a fault.
Yeah, he was trying to delve into his past. Remember, his girlfriend was going into oh, your real name's not Bob Dylan. I don't even know you.
Yeah. That girl was she was kind of annoying.
Ellie Fanning?
Yeah. Yeah, Joanne Rivers, she was cool too. But
her voice was amazing.
Her voice was fantastic, but like you said before, have you heard of her?
No.
I've never heard of her before either. I'm sure
Who knows Joanne? Who knows Ali Cooper? Who knows Bob, the other guy?
Never heard of her.
Yeah. Which is fine. I mean, but most audience people don't know who these people are.
Yeah.
And make a big deal out of it. But Joanne was a very good person.
She was a good character. I liked her a lot. I liked how she kind of just started to...
I liked the relationship.
Yeah, how at the end she was kind of just like saying fuck you to him, and...
I mean, that's
kind of turned against him, yeah.
Bob Dylan was kind of a dick.
He was.
Yeah. He definitely turned into like a Bully Maguire type after that time jump. He was like blowing that girl off. He's like, oh, he just left her in the dust. He went to that
girl after
the black girl.
Yeah.
He just like, she's like, I love you. He's like, you don't even know who I am.
Yeah. He's like, does that scare you? He's like, kind of.
And he's got his sunglasses on the whole time.
Because I just mentioned,
like, I don't need you.
Yeah.
Obviously, Bob Dylan did wear sunglasses. That's what he's known for.
But I mean, fame gets tiring, I would imagine. I mean, being famous, you kind of just want to be that normal person again. I would assume, So there's a lot that comes with fame that also would have been better for this movie if they would have kind of dove into that more as well. Just we don't really
It's the fame
see
process.
how he feels. We don't really did any thought process.
This
on
is
that
why I
either.
think the movie is so confused and what it wanted to do. Like, there's so many avenues they could have done, and like, what did they want to say? They briefly touched on a few topics, like his past, his fame, how he dealt with fame, his relationships.
Yeah.
And then only to the final act did they really know what they were trying to say, and what were they trying to say. What do you think?
Like we were saying, times are changing. You got to accept it.
Change music.
Yeah.
He was there to change music.
But those songs that he did at the end weren't that good. Besides Rolling Stone.
Yeah.
Those first songs that
but
we were
do you
doing,
think,
where everybody was like, "What the hell?"
Yeah, when they're all pissed off. But do you think they were supposed to be good?
But it's also saying "fuck you" to the man. You know, he's saying to the owners of the folk festival and to his label, he's saying, you know, like you're saying, I want to do what I want to do. What Johnny Cash is telling him, and
but
you should definitely always do what you want to do.
But you thought those songs were bad. But like, do you think the people who were making the movie thought those songs were supposed to be good to the audience?
No, I think he was just so desperate on trying something new and not going down the same route. Because artists always change.
See, I think they generally thought those songs were like amazing. Like, he only performed 3 songs, right? Maybe 4.
Rolling Stone's obviously an amazing song.
Yes, that's a classic song. But like those first 3 songs, I think the director wanted the audience to be like, these songs are amazing, even though they're kind of not that great.
Maybe. I mean, I don't know why we would like those songs other than his classics.
I mean, they weren't so bad, but they also weren't so great.
Yeah.
So I think that's why they threw in the movies to be like, look at him changing. He's using electric guitar. He has a band now. He's different.
Yeah.
So I don't think it was to show like he has bad songs.
Well, I'm not saying it's to show he has bad songs. I'm just saying, even though those songs weren't the best, he still wanted to push that because that's what he wants to do.
Right.
So
and then exactly his final song,
Rolling Stone. Well, no, when he does the encore.
Yeah.
Then he does one of his. But he was miserable playing that.
Yeah.
He wanted to get the hell out of there so fast.
But I think that's the whole point of the movie is he wanted to do it. He's like the first punk rocker of all time, if you really think about it. He's sticking it to the man.
Yeah.
He's not listening to labels.
Yeah.
He's doing what he wants to do. He's changing music. And I mean,
mean,
that's ultimately what this movie was about.
Yeah, the Beatles. Well, were the Beatles after him?
Beatles were before.
No, at the same time. Same time. They
did actually compare the Beatles to him.
They did.
He's like, fuck you.
On the sales or what?
No, remember they're at the party. They're at the party, and she's like, "Oh, you're way better than the Beatles."
Oh yeah, that's girl in the
background. He's like, "Don't compare me to the fucking Beatles."
Yeah, that's right.
Which makes sense.
Yeah. Well, he's one man.
But the Beatles are punk rock.
No, it's British rock. It's
Beatles
pop.
Yeah. But I think what his whole story was, he is sticking to the man, like we were saying.
Yeah.
Well,
but there's only so much you can do with that. I mean, it's not.
Yeah. And that was only shown in the last part of the film.
Yeah.
We only got that.
Yeah, a lot of bouncing around.
I feel like that's where this movie shined, though, was the final act. Once it got past the biopic tropes, I was actually invested. Like, oh, they're going somewhere different. When Pete Seeger was in his hotel, he was like, "Don't do this." That's when I didn't know what was going to happen because I don't know the story.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you saw the trailer, you know he performs those songs. He just in the trailer shows him performing Rolling Stone at night.
Okay, well,
yeah. But I mean, no, I mean, I think every single act is just as good as the other.
But I think they're not very cohesive.
Right, which is what I said earlier.
Yeah.
But the only reason to really watch this movie is for the music and Timothee Chalamet. You're not going to learn anything more about Bob Dylan. You're not going to learn, who he was, like we were saying, his motivations, his inspirations. He just would always tell people that he used to work in the circus, which was obviously a lie.
They would just say that. It wouldn't say why he would say that.
Yeah, it was obviously a lie.
Yeah.
He was still a very mysterious guy, but
the crazy thing is he's still making music today. He's just...
that's crazy. He's done 55 albums, they said.
55 albums. He's like touring right now.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And he's killing it.
Yeah.
But they only focus on these 5 years, which is obviously his come up. But
right.
It may be the most interesting part. I think what they're trying to say is like he moves music forward. Because folk music is obviously not very popular now.
No. I don't know. But he had a different type of folk music as well, which is why he was so big. Yeah. So,
but one movie you haven't seen is Inside Llewyn Davis. Bob Dylan is in that movie.
Inside Louis Davis?
Inside Llewyn Davis, the Coen Brothers movie.
Oh, I think you told me about that.
Yeah. That is, compared to this is nothing.
Bob Dylan's in that movie? briefly. But what's it about?
See, this is why this movie is so much more interesting. It's about this singer who basically kind of like Bob Dylan. It's probably inspired by Bob Dylan.
Yeah.
Oscar Isaac, he's poor. He's trying to make it into music, but he has every bad thing that could possibly happen to him go wrong in his life. But that's what folk music is about. It's about melancholy. It's about how shitty your life is. It's about why am I writing songs. It goes into why he's writing his songs, why he does what he does.
Right.
And this movie never explained it. Inside Llewyn Davis is obviously it's way more complex than just that.
Yeah,
that's just a part of it.
That's what I'm saying. This is just a basic run-of-the-mill biopic that happens to have a fantastic performance and one of the most prolific artists of all time. But
yeah,
it's very bland.
You won't get much more than that.
You won't get much more than that.
I mean, you may as well make Timothee Chalamet into a monkey. Maybe people.
Yeah, Better Man. I don't know if I would say that, but
Robbie Williams. Who the fuck is that?
Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea. But
we're American, but we don't know who Robbie Williams is. And I don't care if he's a monkey. I just gotta see it. If Bob Dylan was a monkey, boom, best movie of all time. Easy.
Yeah. So I mean, you could probably wait to stream this for sure.
I would say.
You agree?
I would definitely not pay money to see it in theaters.
Yeah.
But it's not a bad movie.
It's definitely not a bad movie.
In this day and age, you'll see it on HBO.
Yeah, exactly. Stream it at home. I would still give this a positive rating overall. I'd probably say 6.5.
Unless you're a diehard
maybe a little bit less.
Bob Dylan fan.
Yeah. What would you rate it?
6.2.
6.2.
Which is not bad.
So yeah, it's barely a positive review. Just for music and Timothée Chalamet parts and Edward Norton, we really liked.
Yeah, for some reason I love it.
But
it's fun, enjoyable, entertaining. The music scenes are amazing. Nothing new though.
It's not gonna blow your socks off, blow you away.
No. Go see Inside Llewyn Davis instead for the 15th time.
Yeah, I've never seen that. Check it out. Yeah, I don't know if it's. I'm not a big fan of the Coen Brothers as much, but
I'm not a big fan of
their movies are weird, dude.
No Country for Old Men is weird.
Yeah, that's their best movie.
Okay.
Yeah. The other movie, what's that other
Big Lebowski?
I don't like those quirky, weirdo fucking.
They've done Raising Arizona. Inside Llewyn Davis is not quirky.
Well, it was like the producer or like.
Hail Caesar?
That movie's terrible.
Okay, I'll agree with you
that movie's terrible.
There's a million. I need to look it up right now because there's a million Coen movies that you haven't seen.
No, there's definitely a lot, but I know I don't like their style.
Yeah, I mean, I guess No Country for Old Men is.
It's not really their style. That movie's amazing.
That's what this is. Fargo? You're crazy.
Yeah, Fargo's good.
Fargo's amazing.
Yeah.
True Grit?
No, stop.
True Grit?
The remake?
The remake?
No. Come on.
Have you seen it? When's the last time you seen it?
Long time ago.
Okay, yeah, rewatch
Jeff Bridges.
Perfect cowboy western revenge movie. There's nothing wrong with that. Serious Man?
That's the Joaquin Phoenix one I was talking about.
That movie's amazing.
That movie's weird.
Yeah, because it has something to say.
Movie's weird.
And it's in between the lines.
I also haven't seen it in a while either.
I haven't either, but I remember blowing the socks off. Burn After Reading, Brad Pitt. The Running Man?
Burn After Reading's good, but it's not like.
I just named 3 bangers. Fargo.
I do like Burn After Reading. It's easy to watch. It's fast. It's a short movie.
Inside Llewyn Davis, Fargo, No Country for Old Men. What director? I mean, I guess there's a couple.
When did Inside Llewyn Davis come out?
2012, probably. 2013. You love it. You should watch it tonight.
Check it to see if it's streaming.
No, that's how it is. It's in my top 10.
Just check to see if it's streaming.
It's in my top 10 of all time.
Stop.
I swear.
But yeah, overall, guys, those are just our thoughts. I appreciate you watching. We appreciate you watching. This is my brother Dylan once again. My name is Zach. Like, subscribe, comment, do whatever you want. Let me know your favorite Bob Dylan song.
What's your favorite biopic?
What's your favorite biopic? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, a million more coming out.
There's always more. There's always more. But yeah, appreciate you guys. And as always, I will see you on the next one.